The 4 word. Hi folks, welcome back to the Amazing Education Station. It's not about the information, it's about what you need to know. It's also not about the video because, gosh, it's just not going to be incredible. All I have is my phone. So just listen up. It's just for listening. Today's about the 4 word. Not the 4-letter word, it's the 4 word. Can you guess what it is? Foreclosure. How do you avoid foreclosure? Well, so, there's an amazing financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, so this is not financial advice. But there's a guy who's on YouTube. His name is Dave Ramsey. He's got a lot of good things to say about how to avoid bankruptcy. And he's a very wealthy guy. So avoid foreclosure, and how do you do it? Don't borrow money to buy rental properties. If you're going to get into rental properties, be frugal, save money, pay cash. Now you'll get rental properties at a lower cost when you pay cash. People want to work with people who have the cash, and you can find lower cost places that maybe you need to fix them up, and so you're adding value to them. And there's a method called BRRRR. It's BRRR. It's you buy, you rehabilitate, or sort of improve the property, you fix it up. It needs renovation. So buy, renovate, then you can rent it out. That's a good thing. It's giving you income. You could rent it out before you rehabilitate, depending on the quality of the house or the quality of the property and what are rents people are willing to pay. It might not need that much renovation, but if you improve it, the value goes up. And why is that good? Well, listen up. So if you make it a nicer place, even maybe nicer than the other homes in the area, it increases the value of properties in that area, possibly, probably, and it increases the value of the people that you can get to rent it. So your tenants could be better and nicer people. Now, don't do this if a recession is in the situation. If people are not able to pay rent, be very careful, and you need to have a lot of extra cash set aside just to cover all of your expenses. You should be able to survive for years, maybe 2 years at least, if nobody's paying rent. As we saw with the pandemic, we ran into that situation. People didn't have to pay rent. They weren't required to pay rent. And what did that do? It put a lot of rental real estate owners possibly into bankruptcy if they right now have to pay for a lot of expenses or repairs just to keep the place livable. But nobody paid rent and they moved away maybe. Well, so they basically gave away free housing for however long it was, and had expenses. And if they didn't have the cash to pay for it, right now maybe they can't start repaying the mortgage, as mortgage forbearance is over. So they are now required to pay the mortgage payments, whereas before they weren't. So anyway, and especially if they borrowed money, that's a big problem. But if you paid cash and then you have cash in reserve as well, so like an emergency fund, then your expenses would be pretty much the property insurance and small repairs. That's if you paid cash for the property. And so whatever rent you might receive, hopefully you got some, could easily pay just, it's only property tax, and you could put off repairs if they're not emergency repairs. So you might be okay. But so anyway, this is just one shock. Other recessions, we had the COVID shock, but other recessions can put a lot of people out of work And even certain cities can have, say, a factory go out of business or a business fail, and then a place that looked like a good place for a rental property or to have a house and a mortgage may no longer be. And you know, if it's you might be forced to move. Like, you just say you bought a house whenever you did, you've got a mortgage on it, and then you're forced to move and you need to sell, but the housing prices have come down. Then where are you? You're sort of stuck losing money. And so that's tough. And if it's bad enough, you could have a bankruptcy. And also, if you were having, like, say, a cozy relationship with a bank, and they were saying, oh, you know, we can give you loans, we love you, and you'll be able to, say, fix this house up and sell it or whatever. So because of those loans, and if a bank starts having trouble, say, with a recession, and the bank can be sold, and this actually happened to Dave Ramsey, which is why he knows what's going on. So the bank was sold, and the new bank says, we can't have these risky loans. This isn't the way we do business. You have to pay us the loans completely back immediately within whatever, 10 days, 30 days, whatever it is. And, well, you can't pay back the loans, because how can you sell a house that fast? Probably you're never going to. And that's what's called borrowing too much money or being over leveraged, and therefore foreclosure. The bank can take the house or houses legally. Yes, that's right. There you go, foreclosure. And your wealth may be below zero, so you might actually be bankrupt. Very good chance of being bankrupt. And it can happen to a lot of people when you have economic chaos and economic collapse. And you also have many YouTube videos out there recommending to become a millionaire. The most common way is through real estate, and so you ought to invest in real estate. And gosh, it's so easy, you know, from 20 years old with no money down. How can you do it? Oh, borrow money. And well, there you go. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still do bankruptcy this way. And then that 4-number word, foreclosure. So good luck. I hope it doesn't happen. But yeah, just pay cash for things. Don't borrow money. It's many times can be a huge mistake, which makes other people rich and you out on the street, even possibly. Good luck.